Gather round, friends, new and old, and welcome to the Roast and Toast podcast. We are your hosts, Jennie and Philip.
And that's Jennie and Philip because David is still va-va-vooing, still tiki barring, still hiking. I don't even know what he's doing anymore, but he's still out
He's
and
doing
about.
something. I think he said he was going to be attending a wedding sometime around this time.
I think currently he's past that. I don't know. We'll have to get the full.
We'll get the full scoop
David
later. Yeah, we'll get the full scoop later.
He's on an America's tour because he's not even just going and traveling in the United States of America, which we have taken the full name of America for ourselves. He is also in Mexico. He's been traveling to both. So he's in North America somewhere, don't know specifically where. Anyhow, we miss you, David. We'll see you soon. We'll see you next week. Next week for a very fun event.
Yes.
However, in lieu of that, Jennie, you and I are back from vacation, our vacation.
Yes.
You've been a working woman. You've been very busy.
Yes, as I always am.
Yeah, as you always are. I intimately know because me and my girlfriend went to go see you and pay patronage to go see your show in The Princess Bride. And It is, by the time that this comes out, the show will be over. However, when we saw it, it was like an opening weekend, I believe. It was somewhere in there. It was close to opening. It was like maybe week 2 or something.
It was, I think week 2 or 3, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jennie, fantastic. I'm not even blowing smoke up your ass. I'm not even just trying to be like a good podcast host and whatever. And plus, this podcast is coming out beyond when people can purchase it. It's been sold out, yada, yada, yada. But excellent job by yourself. It was a wonderful production, hilarious. And I know for a fact, I think I can speak on behalf of my girlfriend, a good friend of the podcast, Sora. She has said that at the time she was a little weary about the idea and concept of puppets. But going in, it completely reconstructs your mind and your vision of like what puppets can do, how they are employed and how they are used. It's kind of like the idea of like once you get into film and animation, you're like, oh, animation can be used beyond.
Yes.
But beyond what it's not just for kids is what this basically goes towards. And I can say exquisite job. Can't wait to go and see another show and support you as well as the puppet community again.
Oh, thank you very much, Phil. It's been a little bit since I last saw you, of course, since the show. What's up? What's new with you? What's going on?
What's new with me? Not entirely too much. The only thing that I can think of is that me and my girlfriend went to go visit my sister, my older sister.
Yes.
And we played some games. But what really highlighted the night was that afterwards, she happened to bust out a DVD that was transferred over from a VHS of her Sweet 16 birthday party, and being in her golden years of late 40s or whatever she is. I don't even know what she is. I just always kid that she's older. But anyways, it was a trip down memory lane. And it's funny because my girlfriend was like, wow, look at you. Do you remember this? And what's funny about it is like, I remember little sprinkles of this party.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And it's so funny seeing like people at a younger age, seeing my stepdad at a younger age and having hair as opposed to now not having hair and basically remember. But even when she asked me, do you remember this? As stupid as this sounds, it's like, I do kind of remember this, but from a first person point of view. So it's interesting seeing it, the whole event from another angle, from a camera angle. And then plus seeing how awkward everybody was at that time, because you've got a handheld recorder with a bright light that nobody knows what to do. And now it's funny seeing how used to recording equipment everybody is now, that none of that would feel that out of place outside of maybe my grandma would still be like, oh, what do I need to do? Right. Everybody else would see a phone, would see it coming, and then just turn into recording mode. Right. So it was very interesting. A lot of 90s gyrations, a lot of isms from the 90s. It was very dated. And that it was a lot of fun to go down memory lane. Jennie, how about you? How's your time since last we had a conversation been?
Well, in terms of current events, everything's still the same. But I have I don't know if I've shared this information on the podcast yet. So when this episode comes out, I will be traveling that next week to Dallas, Texas.
Ooh.
Because I am going to see the solar eclipse.
Is that why? I wondered why.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm going.
Very interesting.
I'm going with some friends from college. We are going to be like Dallas Grapevine area, because that is where the total solar eclipse's path of totality is. So we'll be able to see it, see the moon completely cover the sun, and we'll be able to see it with fancy glasses, and we'll enjoy 24 hours in Dallas together. Well, I will be enjoying 24 hours in Dallas. They have the whole weekend together, so I'll be joining them in the last leg, but I'm very excited. I can't wait to see this.
Well, make sure that you grab some ribs, so that way when you're sitting there for the entire day, you have something to do. And I think that's amongst the very few things that I know that Dallas, Texas provides that can be mobile and be enjoyed. That's not in person.
To be what? Sorry?
Some barbecue, some ribs, some chicken.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yes.
Yes, I should get some barbecue.
Absolutely. While you're down there, since you're, when you're in Rome, which is Texas in this case, which is weird to say. All right. Before we move on, though, this is normally where we would transition. Before we move on, we have a very important announcement that we neglected to mention last time, if only for the reason that we actually didn't know that it existed. So this is a very important message to everybody listening.
Yes.
We have finished a game cycle. Now, I know that as of the past, we kept note of it and we kept track of it at a time, as a matter of fact, of February 23rd of last year. We said to ourselves, what are we doing this if not for some victories, some running around, something beyond just saying, oh, we're so much better than you because of this. So at that time, if you recall, if we go back to that time of the episode, we stated that the winner would receive a gift by the two people below him, the two losers.
Yes.
Which this year turned out to be myself. I came in second place with an overall record as of February 23rd this year. I came out with an overall record of 8-14, which means that I lost. And Jennie, you came out with an overall record of 8-16. So by simply having two more losses, you had a slightly worse losing percentage than I did.
I
and
did,
David,
sadly.
He ran away with this thing at first place with 14-9. He was the only one of us who had a positive record, a record in the positive. And it's not like he did tremendously well himself, but he still won. Congratulations to David. I'm glad that we can not have him here to showboat and walk around in peacock while he's here. That would be insufferable on his part. But yes, it has ended. And as a matter of fact, our current game status resets. And the game that we played last week for the last episode actually gets carried over. So Jennie, you have a victory over both me and David at 1-0.
Oh, interesting.
And me and David are both 0-1. So we are starting off with you with an early lead. Thus, why later on today we have a game episode in place and planned for today.
Yes.
But that will count towards going forward. So this is all to say that the game cycle has ended. We will show on social media the final result of how it all came to be. But, David, congratulations, my friend. You have beaten both me and Jennie viciously and maliciously. Congratulations.
Since you mentioned games and such, Phil, let's go ahead and get into the game. But before we do that, we've had your lovely girlfriend, lady friend of the podcast, and we've had Nicole on, David's girlfriend. We're missing one. My man hasn't been on for a game yet. So, introduce you to the podcast. Yes, my man. And here he is, Matt Crumm. Welcome to the podcast.
Yo.
How's it going,
back, Matt. Welcome back.
You'll be joining us for a fun game. So,
is that how she introduces you whenever you go out, Matt? Is she just like, oh, and then so my name's Jennie, and this is my man? Does she give her like a little guttural reaction?
She does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People need to know.
People need to know that this is my man.
Saying, oh, this is my boyfriend. Oh, that's so boring. This is my man. You gotta keep it,
you gotta
keep it fresh, you know?
Gotta put a little sauce on that man. All right. So, well, welcome back, Matt. As is tradition, I'm sure, I have a question for you.
All right.
To get to know you just a little bit better. Just a smidgen better. My question for you, what is the worst place you've ever visited or more intensely been on vacation for or at, I guess?
I'll probably piss a lot of people off with this, but LA.
LA, interesting. What made it so disgusting for you?
The traffic.
That's a good one.
Lack of sleep and having to drive to LA, spend a day at Universal, then drive to Anaheim with like no rest. And then dealing with rush hour traffic, I'm just like, I don't like this.
That's so funny. See, for me, it was never really the traffic. It was always like the random bumps of LA. You're just driving around and then all of a sudden your car will just go boom, 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 boom. And you're like, why? There's no need for there to be bumps around here. So the fact that you're saying traffic is funny. I do wonder if had you had a different method to get to Universal Studios instead of directly during traffic and then having to drive over there, if you might have had a better experience. But I can at least empathize. I can understand why that would be an answer. So LA, okay, good to know.
The second I got to Anaheim, it was all clear, but
Yes. Anaheim usually it's a lot more mundane. It's a lot more easier to access and navigate. Well, Jennie, I feel like you have a game for both me and the Matster that hopefully he will give to me because I desperately need a win.
Well, let's get started, shall we? So, putting some explanation to what this game is going to be about. So, as the winner of their last game cycle, David was treated to a pancake breakfast as the winner.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it would be fun to put together some pancake trivia for this game.
Ooh, okay.
So this is just a fun multiple choice game that you and Matt will be playing about pancakes. So
I love it.
Pancake trivia.
Pancakes are my topping breakfast, and waffles are more of if I just want the actual thing itself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like too many toppings, but I'm willing to go like crazy toppings on a pancake. So I'm not a full pancake lover, but I'm ready to get into it.
So, gentlemen, each of these questions, there are 5 questions. Each have multiple choice. I will read the questions to you, and you will answer what you think is correct. And I don't see there being a tiebreaker unless one of you, if neither of you are able to answer a question or pick something. But it's multiple choice, so that won't happen. Question number 1. What day of this year was known as Pancake Day? And this is all based on Easter and the lunar calendar, because Pancake Day is kind of the same thing as Fat Tuesday, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Is it A, February 13th, B, March 8th, C, January 11th, or D, February 25th?
I'm going to go with B, March 8th.
March 8th, okay. Philip, what say you?
For absolutely no reason whatsoever, other than I know I'm specifically going to pick against February 13th because I don't feel like a food celebration right before Valentine's Day. Nobody wants anything getting in the way of the love making. Nobody wants a full engine before the caboose is starting to pop. No.
Oh, so when Valentine's Day is about to, you're not thinking of any Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruities?
Yeah, you definitely don't want the Rudy Tooty before the fresh and Valentine's Day. You do not want a fresh Rudy Tooty. So I'm going to say that it's not that one. But I do think after indulging with all the chocolates and everything on Valentine's Day, that on February 25th, you're ready. You're back to being like, I don't need to be in fit. I don't need to be in style for anything. There's still a little bit of sweater weather that I can pack on a few more pounds. Let's make Pancake Day that day. I'm guessing February 25th would be National Pancake Day.
All right, I heard March
Whichever
8th
option that was.
and February 25th. Unfortunately, neither of you are correct.
Oh.
It is February 13th.
Unbelievable.
2024's Pancake Day people were gunning for the pancakes right before the sweet old day of love, February 13th.
You got to get that early in the morning for that breakfast to let that settle and clear your system before your 24-hour of marathoning. That's a poorly planned day.
It's for I guess it's for the gals for Galentine's Day, since that's also Galentine's Day for many people.
Maybe, yeah.
All the
Makes
people
sense.
get together for their love with friends. Anyway, question 2. Which author loved pancakes and often featured them in their literary works? Was it A, Oscar Wilde, B, Ernest Hemingway, C, William Shakespeare, or D, August Wilson?
I guess this would go to me since Matt went first last time. Mm-hmm. I have no definitive knowledge on this. I don't remember ye shallest given me a pancake from good old Bill Shakespeare. So I think me and Matt were both on that line of thinking. So I don't think either one of us will pick. I could be wrong, but let me go with D. I forget who you said there, but D felt right.
August Wilson.
August Wilson. Yes, that feels somewhat reasonable.
I'm gonna go with A. Oscar Wilde. Yeah.
You're gonna go with Oscar Wilde?
Yeah.
That was my second choice. I'll be upset if that's
again, neither of you are correct.
We're not paying.
Don't you tell me it was Bill. Don't you frickin' tell me it was Bill, Jenny.
It was Billy. It was Billy Shakespeare.
What?
He apparently was a huge fan of pancakes because, I mean, listen, pancakes have been around since like 600 BC. Like, recorded.
Was it like a new thing back then? Was it the craze and it just happened to... What the hell?
From my research, it seems like the British really love their pancakes. They're big fans. So...
Yeah, Taming of the Pancake. I don't even know whatever... I've never heard of a pancake in any William Shakespeare thing. The Tempest, the Temptation of Pancakes, I never heard.
You know what? I'll get back to you on this, Phil. Maybe we can bring this up in the next episode. I will bring evidence that William Shakespeare was simping for pancakes.
Yeah, he was a simp for syrup.
All right, moving on, gentlemen. 0 points on the board for either of you. The world's most expensive pancake exists currently in Manchester, United Kingdom. Of course. About how much does this plate cost in British pounds? Now, I would like to mention this pancake is a multi-layered savory pancake that includes pink champagne, lobster, truffles, and caviar. Is it A, 200 pounds, B, 500 pounds, C, 800 pounds, or D, 1,100 pounds?
Matt, you go first since I went first last time.
I'm going to do 800.
800?
Yeah.
Okay.
C. Because 1,100 sounds a bit too much.
Well, you never know. People will pay big...
1,100 sounds too much for breakfast.
Like if it had gold flakes or something.
200 sounds too expensive for breakfast.
Matt, we're of the same mindset. I was waiting for the freaking gold flakes. I guess it too matters how many layers there are. Okay, so let's break this down. I think people are much more willing to... I mean, there's a sucker born every freaking minute and will pay exorbitant amount of prices because they're Bill Gates and they can just spend whatever they want on freaking pancakes. But here's the difference. I think that people are willing to spend so much more for dinner and you're able to get a lot as opposed to for breakfast. I just don't think any variation of that, and I'd like to consider myself an aficionado of breakfast, even though I have 0 points along with Matt. I believe that it can't be 1,100. If it's 1,100, I retire right now. But I'm thinking there were pink champagne, truffles. By the way, no matter what this amount is, by all definitions, these pancakes are too rich. By like every definition of the word,
I agree
too much in the
that.
price, and also the toppings. It's like pink champagne. Did you say lobster and everything else? There's no
lobster, truffles, caviar, and sadly, no gold flakes.
Yeah, and no gold. Yeah, there's no way that this you could take more than 3 bites of this and not be satisfied. So, anyways, this is all to say that I'm going to pick 500.
Okay, we have 800 and 500. We do have a correct point to give to one of you. It goes to Matt with 800 pounds.
Dang it! Very good, Matt.
It's about, I tried to confirm what the correct price was, but everything I saw said it was about, the estimation was about 800 pounds. I think it went up to, I think it changes every year depending on cost and taxes and things, but it's ranged between, in US dollars, between 1,050 to 1,350. I think it was around 800 pounds. So we have 1 point for Matt and 0 for Phil. Let's
Ridiculous.
see.
I better get 2 meals out of that if I'm paying 800 pounds.
I saw it. It's quite beautiful.
Oh, I better be.
I saw it, but it's definitely not meant to be. I wouldn't want to eat it. That needs to be put in a museum somewhere. Anyway.
It needs to be on a stamp somewhere to be preserved for all time.
It belongs in a museum. The largest pancake ever made was created, also, not surprised, in the UK, United Kingdom. How long was this pancake? I would like to mention, before you answer, it weighed about 3 tons, and appearance-wise was about the size of a double-decker bus. Was it A, 107, in feet, was it A, 170 feet, B, 113 feet, C, 57 feet, or D, 49 feet?
Just to clarify before Matt goes, because he should go first since he's in the lead, you're saying it's as thick as a double-decker bus?
It's as a if you lifted it and put it on the edge facing upward, yeah. If it's like to check like the height of it, it would be like the height of a double-decker bus.
Holy hell! There's no way that thing was cooked thoroughly. Anyways, continue.
Well,
ahead,
I mean, from what I researched, they said it didn't taste very good.
Oh, I bet it didn't. Yeah, we could discuss it. Yeah. Go ahead, Matt.
I'm gonna go with B.
113 feet.
Mm-hmm.
We've reached the portion of the program where my complete ignorance to understanding measurements comes into play here. It conflicts heavily with my breakfast aficionado. So I have no wherewithal or whereabouts when it comes to measurements of feet. So and with that in knowledge, I will go with option C, not even knowing what you said, and not know.
Well, sadly, gentlemen, neither of you have gotten a point on this one.
God.
What I will do to make sure we have at least one more point on the board to have a clear winner, I will be eliminating 2 of the options for the final question. So
sounds good. And I'll give Matt first chance to go. So that way
the correct answer for that last one, by the way, was 49 feet.
Yes. Okay. So that was option D, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I didn't think it was going to be too long, especially if it was that thick. It doesn't feel just at some point it just becomes impossible to create. I mean, I don't even understand. So anyways, I'm sorry. Continue, Danny.
The tallest pancake stack record was done in 2016 in, would you believe it, England.
No wonder they were. See, had you done all this leading up to Shakespeare, I might have eventually clued in.
Right. How many pancakes made this stack total? Was it, I'm going to eliminate 2 of the options. So there's only 2 to choose from. Was it B, 213, or A, 175?
Go ahead, Matt. You go first. 175 or 213?
I'm going to go with B.
You going to go with B?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with 213. That's close. There's no reason on what 28 would make a difference for me. So I wouldn't have a full thought. But I would have thought, especially if we're starting at that, I don't know what your even higher numbers would have been. I think I would have probably stumbled upon A anyway. So I'll go with A, hopefully forcing a tiebreaker.
It did not. There is a clear winner.
God, man.
Matt, you are the winner of this game. The guest takes the point.
Way to go, Matt.
I chose 213 because I was like, "Oh, unlucky number."
Lucky number? Oh, yeah.
Unlucky.
Oh,
number.
unlucky number.
13.
Yes, understood. Well, Matt, congratulations. You have taken the guest win for this episode. How do you feel? How are you going to celebrate?
Pancakes.
Great.
No.
Pancakes. There we go. That's the correct answer right there, my guy.
Pancakes.
My man. Well, thank you for joining us, Matt.
No problem.
Thanks, babe.
And with that loss, I dropped down to 0-2 to start out the new game cycle, while David stays at 0-1 and Jenny maintains her lead at 1-0. Very good start, Jenny. Ooh, that slaps. It slaps so hard that David couldn't even stick around. That's how much it slapped.
Womp womp.
Speaking of David, I'm actually dedicating this specific That Slaps to David because when all 3 of us were hanging out, we were listening, we were enjoying a mixture of David Hoffman's music whenever we were traveling and driving around, and the That Slaps playlist that you can find out now on Spotify. Just look up Roast and Toast, and we have a That Slaps playlist. Go check it out now if you want a really head-spinning, dazzling turn of events where you just have one song can be the Wiggles and the next song can be Sam Smith. Anyways, But speaking of Smiths and speaking of David, he played a song from his own playlist, of his own listening. I was like, this is a great song. Is this on the That Slaps playlist? He said, no, actually, this was in consideration for me to be put on That Slaps, but I never got around to it. And I said, well, noted, my guy, my man. And I am going to be putting it on myself onto the That Slaps playlist. It is called Solo, S-O-L-O, by Miles Smith. So the tradition of adding a Smith song to the list continues. Excellent. I'm sure David will love it. But he actually really should love it because he liked this song. And it's witty, it's clever, and I like how it feels. It's a very good song that has a mixture of meaningful lyrics along with just a nice beat, and it's a little somber, but it's also happy. It's very nice. Solo by Miles Smith. That slaps.
My That Slaps this week is not inspired by David. So it
would probably be country if it was any more inspired by
David.
Sorry,
bud. But my That Slaps is also a song this week. Go check out Lonely Dancers by Conan Gray. It was from the album by the artist named Ali Rose. The album is called that. The artist is Conan Gray. It was one of those random stumble-upons as you're playing a random playlist on Spotify or whatever streaming service. It just kind of popped up on my feed, and I was like, oh, I really like this. It's very 80s inspired, and it's got this gorgeous album cover, and you can't help but just do a little groove to it while you enjoy the tune. So go check out Lonely Dancers by Conan Gray. That slaps. Sorry to keep this episode brief, everyone, but it is time for us to take down the tents and get on to the next week. But before we go and before we end our short time together, here are some people we want to thank. Thanks to Cassie Crossland and Jake Corlang for the music on the show that you get to hear.
Thanks to Ryan Ardell and Josh Hans for a lot of the audio bits you hear throughout the show. Thank you, guys.
Thank you to Rudy Chalk for all of your wonderful graphic design work that you get to see in all of our social media. Special thank you to our guest on this episode, Matt Crumm, my wonderful man.
My man!
Last but not least, thank you to you, the listener. If you're just joining us for the first time this week, thank you so much for stopping by. We hope we get to have you stop by again and again and again. For returning listeners, thank you for always supporting us and letting us entertain you and brighten your day. To keep in touch with us, we got some exciting episodes coming up. Be sure to find our social media and follow us on our Instagram, our Facebook, and on YouTube and TikTok under Roast and Toast Pod. And if you, for some reason, want to switch up your listening platforms, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, and on YouTube. But not Pandora, because you know why? Hey, Philip, you know why we shouldn't go to Pandora?
Why is that, Jenny?
Because screw you, Pandora. That's why.
Screw you and a bag of chips.
All of the chips, the Lays.
Well, hi, guys. Welcome in. We're so excited to have you here at the dinner party. Oh, who's this? Why, this is my bear.